What is up, Sausage Fam? I'm back with another review. This time it's going to be on Sonic 2. Damn. Bars. Before I get into this one, I'm going to do a really quick just background story of where I come from when it comes to Sonic. I was the Nintendo kid, and my brother was the Sega kid. So my brother had the Sega Genesis and all that stuff. I had the Super Nintendo. He had the Sega Dreamcast. I had the Nintendo 64. So I wouldn't say I was more of a Mario kid over a Sonic kid, but I definitely played around more on the the saving the princess from the dragon side rather than just rolling through some kind of fucking field and being chased by some fat guy. So I definitely played Sonic. I did. I always loved the first couple missions of the game. Every single time, it was always what I would replay, just because it's fast and it's easy and it's quick and it's a good time. I felt like later on in the games it would always turn into like a platformer or like some kind of Mario hybrid type game, and I was always kind of just like, yeah, I'm not as into that. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand the purpose of anything, so I just didn't really get into it. And that's not saying like, oh, I was looking for a story when I was that age, but I was a kid that grew up playing Final Fantasy a lot of times, so I was more into story elements of things, I would say. I wanted to lead that into the fact that Adriana and we actually didn't see the first Sonic movie until way after everybody else saw it. When we finally did get to see it, it really was awesome. I really liked it. We both really liked it, actually. Between Jim Carrey's just amazing performance, and I thought that the CGI was really good for Sonic. I thought the main dilemma was really good. I thought the story was really fun to watch, especially after rewatching it. I really liked the first Sonic movie. It's a really solid video game movie. It's really good. And that's saying a lot coming from me too, because I'm one of those people that I hate movies that have like CGI characters as the main characters and then like real life human characters as well. Reminds me of those Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. And those movies are the worst. Those are the worst, I swear, man. And that's what I expected from the first Sonic movie. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest with you. I really liked everything about the first Sonic movie. It was really fun to watch. It got me really excited to be excited about video game movies, and that's saying a lot, because there's some really bad video game movies out there, and that one wasn't one of them. It was actually really good. So leading into Sonic 2, some high expectations. I expected them to capitalize on everything that they did well in the first movie and do it even better in this one. And for the most part, they did. For the most part, the second Sonic movie is as good, if not better, at some points than the first movie. Though I don't think it is better than the first movie, and I'll explain that a little bit more. Now, I don't like normally starting out with the negatives, but I like to take a couple days after I go and see the movie. I went and saw it last Saturday when it first came out, and at this point it's Easter, so happy Easter, everybody. It's a week after, but I normally give it a few days before I do my review, just so I can kind of think about the movie a little more, just so I'm not immediately giving you a reaction to the movie. I want to give you like a solid thought process of the movie. The one thing I every single time I start thinking about this movie, the one thing I start thinking about in Sonic 2 is how annoying it is to have to watch a good portion of the movie watching like human characters the whole time, and normally that's okay. I mean, that's whatever. It's technically supposed to be like a kids movie, and like the adult, like the real life stuff is supposed to appeal to adults. But that was what I liked about the first movie, is it felt like the real life stuff going on was just as funny as the Sonic stuff that was going on. So I was very invested, and I was very interested in the human stuff as well as the Sonic stuff, the animated stuff. This movie, though, like it's a 2-hour movie, and it takes like 45 minutes of the movie could have been cut out, I feel like, if they would have just gotten rid of the human characters. Like, Jim Carrey's fantastic. He needs to be there. He's Dr. Robotnik. But like the main characters, like Sonic's mom and dad, Jane Marston, and I don't remember what his wife's name is in the movie, but it's all about like all the human stuff is about them going to Hawaii for like their friend Rachel's wedding, and that stuff's funny sometimes, but like a lot of it's really boring. Like it's just I would catch myself just kind of like just wandering off when those scenes were happening, because they didn't matter for the story as a whole. It really didn't matter whatsoever. And that stuff annoys me when they push that kind of stuff way too much, because we were there, like I said, the opening weekend, so we went and saw it, and there were some kids in the theater. There were a lot of adults not taking care of their children while they were running around the theater and being loud and obnoxious. But whatever. When I noticed I was getting bored, I would look at the kids, and they were just as bored as I was, and that's annoying, because like when those human things are supposed to be happening, it's supposed to be goofy and fun enough for the kids to interact with, as well as the adults to go, okay, this is good enough for me to watch as well, you know, why not? But it wasn't good enough for the kids, and it wasn't good enough for me when it came to that stupid like real life stuff that was going on. If you cut that out, the greatest things about this movie and the things that make this movie a better sequel are the parts where Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Jim Carrey or Dr. Robotnik are all together in one scene, just going at it, just like bitching at each other and fighting each other. All those scenes are so good to see, and they're so fun to watch, and they're so nostalgic. And speaking of Knuckles and Tails, they were fun. Like, they were really fun. Tails was a little bit annoying sometimes, but he is supposed to be like kind of like the little nerdy scientist sidekick, like the Robin to Sonic's Batman. But like he was annoying sometimes, but he was cute. You know what I mean? It was okay. Knuckles, Idris Elba was awesome as Knuckles. I really enjoyed his way of doing things. It was very Vegeta like, you know, he was a bad guy, now he's gonna become a good guy, kind of. Sorry to spoil it, but like it's kind of obvious. He's so like caveman like, you know, with like his like wants to be like this warrior, like this destined warrior type of thing, and it's just cliche, but it's really funny how him and Sonic react to each other and everything. It's a really good conflict, and it's really good CGI when they're fighting. It's really fun to watch, and like I said, it's very nostalgic. And Jim Carrey is just like the puppet master the entire time, and he is hilarious in this movie. I don't think he was as big or as funny as he was in the first movie, but I do think that like there were more cool effects than there were in the first movie, so like that took a lot of Jim Carrey's spots away, because a lot of him fighting was him just in the background doing stuff on the computer, you know, shooting rockets at them while they're all fighting and stuff like that. And those scenes were really good. Again though, the human interaction stuff was just so boring. It was so boring and so unnecessary. They could have cut this movie down a good like 20%, I feel like, at least, if you would have gotten rid of that stuff. Another thing that I didn't really like about the movie was there were moments that it seemed like contradicted what Sonic actually is. And in the first movie, there were a lot of moments where Sonic used his super speed to do things, and in this movie it felt like there were like conflicts made that because he wasn't able to do super speed, and they never really explained why he couldn't super speed around. For example, there's a part where Sonic and Tails are stuck in like a Russian bar or something. I don't know if it's a Russian bar, but it's like a Russian, like it looks very Russian. It's very druid and very scary, and the people there are very like rawr. So like there's a part where they're kind of acting like humans, so like Sonic and Tails have like these like cool fur coats on, and they look like human beings, like little tiny human beings. So they walk into the bar and they're there to obtain something, and instead of just like zooming around the room and really quick grabbing the thing that they're trying to grab, the movie goes into like a 10 to 15 minute dance off, and it's just like, okay, that's funny and everything, it's cute for the kids and all that stuff, but like it takes way too long. It's a boring ass scene to watch as an adult, and like all the human characters around them are the worst part about it. When I'm watching Sonic and Tails like dance, okay, it's pretty cute, it's funny, you know, the CGI is really good, but then you have those human characters behind them, and it just like makes it just so boring and so unnecessary and so cringy, to be honest with you. But again, it is a kids movie, so I get it, but there were just a lot of moments like that where it was just like, well, you have super speed, why don't you just do this? Or you have super speed, why don't you just do this? And like it could have solved so many problems in the movie, but I get they wanted to shoehorn in a bunch of human characters to pad the movie a little bit, I suppose, so that works. Other than that though, I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. It was fun. The cliffhanger was really good. Just so you know, the after credit scene, there's no after credit, but there is a mid credit scene kind of after the pre-credit roll. You'll see a little cool scene that's leading into the next villain of the movie, or of the series pretty much, and where the series is going to go. I do think they would benefit from going into Sonic's world now, or like within the next couple movies they need to head back into Sonic's world where it's all CGI, because the human stuff's got to go. It's just baby poop, that's all it is. It's just dripping feces. It's awful. It's just not necessary. Nobody wants to see it, nobody wants to smell it, nobody wants to look at it, nothing. It's not great. So other than that though, I love the action in this movie. I thought the story was fun. Aside from the human interaction stuff, it was pretty good. It was solid. Like I said though, there were things about the first movie that they did better. I thought they did the human stuff better. I thought it was a little bit more funny too. I thought this movie didn't appeal to like our age as much as the first one did. And when I say our age, I mean people that grew up playing Sonic and stuff like that. I feel like the first movie appealed to them, especially with some of the references that Sonic would make, you know, about Fast and Furious and all that stuff. Like there were funny moments that only like we as adults would understand. Kids nowadays obviously wouldn't know much about some of the stuff that they were referencing in the first movie, and he did some funny references in this one too, but they weren't nearly as funny or adult as they were in the first movie. I think the next movies would benefit from being a little more CGI and a little more PG-13. but you know, it's meant to be a kids movie, I suppose. So I thought that's what was so good about the first one, though, is it was supposed to be a kids movie, but it appealed so much to me as an adult that it was solid. It was really, really good. If this second movie didn't have all the human stuff going on, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Absolutely a 9 out of 10. And that's pretty good because I gave the first movie an 8.5 in my opinion. So with all that human stuff that they did, with all that padding and boring shit that they added, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 or an 8, like somewhere in the middle there. You know, that might be a little harsh on it, but I don't think it's as good as the first movie when it comes down to it. Though there were things about this movie that were really good and way better than the first. So like, it's kind of an even toss up, to be honest with you, but I do think it's fair to give the second movie a little less credit. It's a sequel. You know, it's not perfect, but it's not horrible at all either. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody who's watching these reviews. I appreciate you guys, you know, giving me some confidence in the like button and everything like that. Subscriptions go a long way too to make me feel a little bit better about doing these videos and taking the time out to do them and everything like that. But I genuinely enjoy doing it. It's a great time. If you're not a follower already on our Facebook page, Followers of Sausage, you should go and follow because we got a lot of cool people in there that have a lot of cool movie and game discussions. It's just a really good time, and you know, you'd fit in. I guarantee it. But yeah, I wish things about this movie were a little bit different. But you know, that's just how it is sometimes. Take it for what it is, and it's a pretty cool movie. Make sure you guys have an awesome Easter. I know you might be watching this a little after Easter, but I hope everybody did have a good Easter. And if you did see this movie, what did you think of it? You know, did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Either way, I don't mind listening. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.